Hi, I'm Mark, Clueless with Fear, and today we're going to laminate sides. This whole idea, at least for me, came from watching Chris Alvarado's videos, the driftwood guitar. Actually, most of my ideas came from them. Anyway, so he uses a vacuum bag. I cannot justify that kind of expense for the number of guitars I will probably build in my lifetime. So I first had the idea of using my bending machine. If you haven't seen that video, a couple back, by clamping down the waist and then pulling the sides down around the form. And I thought it was a pretty slick idea. But the more I thought about it, the one issue I had is that form defines the inside dimension. And I really wanted to make sure it fit in the form I'm going to use to actually build the guitar. And so I started looking around, and I saw someone do that, where he actually put it in the form and used lots and lots of small pieces of wood to clamp it all tight. And that looked all good. I don't have 30 odd clamps, and I could get them, but I thought of another idea. And so what I did is I built, I'm going to show you in the form. How about, let's do that. All right. What I did is I first cut one piece somewhere in the middle here. I cut a piece of this basically from here in one shot, one big piece. Then once I put it in, I got to fit as best I can, taking into account there's going to be a gap. Then I looked at it and decided, where do I want to apply pressure? So this is what I came up with. And so the waist, cut individually, I can put a clamp to hold it here, same here, but I still wanted to be able to make sure that this was totally tight, and the ends are made so I can put clamps and pull the side and to the side. Then I also took some drawer liner foam and glued it on, cut it off, to help spread that pressure a little bit. All right, the epoxy I'm using is System 3. Honestly, it's because it's what Chris used. But the most important thing is you have plenty of time to work with it. And since I'm pretty new to this, I wanted a lot of time. We have about 25 minutes of working time with this. So what I'm going to do, I have a food scale here, and it's a 2-to-1 mixture. So I'm going to pour 30 grams, so a little bit heavy. Okay, so a little up, so I'm going to put a little extra in. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to take this and mix this really, really good. I just have a little piece of scrap wood here that I'm using to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to spread it. I'm going to look around for maybe something a little bit better, but and you can really make a mess with this. I didn't have enough room before when I tried this. So I expanded my space. Okay, it's looking pretty good. It's over here. Okay, I'm just gonna pour some of this on. This is the inside of the outside piece. Now, I'm not trying to scrape it off or anything like that, but I want to make sure that it's on all the surfaces. You can use a silicone thickener on this. I know that he tends to, especially certain types of woods, I guess, really require thickener because they absorb the epoxy too readily. Indian rosewood shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I'm going to set this up here. Now I'm going to do the inside piece. Too much on this. That got a little crazy. Instead, you can really make a mess with this. I use a lot of wax paper. Okay. I don't want too much. About that later. Make sure this hasn't pooled. Okay. So now I'm going to shift the camera. Alright, so what I've done, I taped this off to try to keep epoxy off. Same here. And the thing is, what I've got to do now is flip this over. And I'll explain why. I kind of jumped a step in my explanation. All right. So the top of the guitar is flat, and I'm using that to position it correctly. So the top's going down towards the board. Okay, bring this in. I'm going to show what kind of excess I have. Keep this handy. Oh, here we go. I knew I had some here. All right. So I'm going to start with the waist here. This in place. And be hard to work behind here in a minute. Now pull this in enough, kind of position it, everything. As we go along, we might have to move it. Let me move this a little bit. You know what? I apologize. I forgot something. I forgot a step. Back up. I don't want these sticking to the wood. So, one more time. Looks good. Looks pretty good. I'm not tightening these way down yet. That actually, I found this gradual thing. Make sure those are down. Okay. Good. And for this one, need a thinner, smaller head because they start to get in the way. And this one is not going to cut it. I need a larger one. Okay. As much as possible, I'm trying to get these to pull pretty much straight in. Run room at the end. And okay, this goes over. Now I get stuck with the great big giant ones, because that's what I have. That is not going to happen. See if this works. I had these laid out properly at one time and I felt I needed to move them around. Okay. Push this in. Make sure everything is still push down. Okay. Now, gradually you're going to keep tightening these up, pull them in. All right, then I have two small ones. I want to make sure that it's pushed all the way to the end real nicely, even hang over slightly if I can. And keep going, I often get a little bit of more movement. Really want to make sure we squeeze all of the air out. Okay. Now, let's see if there's any squeeze out issues we can deal with first. Oh, another thing I did, let's see. Probably not necessary. And this one, it definitely, I went ahead, put a couple of these on here. Even though I'm cutting this off, I still just want to make sure that I'm pulling in as much as I can. Probably not needed, but then again, I hate to find out I'm wrong. Okay, that's in good shape. Now this needs to sit at least 4 to 6 hours, and we can take it out. All right, it's been about 6.5 hours or so, but I'm going to do something before I take all the clamps off. We'll take these off, and these. And I'm going to trim these sides off since I've got a nice line here. Let's see. And I think I'm going to leave that on. Well, no, that's going to get in the way. Pop that off. Yeah, just like that. A little hot in there. There we go. Alright. Let's cut this off. I'm going to move this up. And I guess I'm going to be changing the camera angle. All right, let's take these off. So this will basically have, first thing I'll do is scrape this. And to get as much of the epoxy off as possible. I don't have to get all of it off because I'm going to be sanding it and that'll take care of a lot of it. But there it is. And I don't know if I have to redo the camera for this part, but it looks good. And the nice thing is, when it goes to put this back in, it just fits like a glove. One of the things I realized I didn't explain very well earlier, while I'm taking this apart, I thought I'd just point it out. What this is, these holes are already in this form. I put the two together so it'd be tall enough to do the sides well. But really, these are usually used, see if I can get it apart now. Like this. And so this side, see, it's top or bottom? Bottom. Okay. So this side goes here. I actually did the first side before I did this. So you see, this is, once I shave these off a little bit more, this will go together, and then I use this form to build a guitar. So this is the first one I did. I haven't totally scraped it off, but I got some of it done. And I wish I'd have shown this, pointed this out before I did it. But if you saw these earlier, you know how wimpy they were. I mean, this is like really, really stiff and hard. So I'm really excited about the way they turned out. I was really nervous about this part. I mean, really nervous. So, all right, well, thanks for stopping by, and if you got to the end of the video, thank you even more, and I'll see you soon. Bye.